if you're a technician out there in the field, if you're somebody on the phones, if you're a manager or an owner, we're going to share some things in this episode that are going to take your game to the next level. And if you implement them, you will see an increase in your conversion rate, in your average ticket, and in your customer satisfaction. I promise you. Welcome back. Another episode of the Trepreneur Show. Patrick Summers, your host, co-host Tanya Priest, and we've got some exciting information to share with you today on how to level up your game. Options. We all like options, right? Mm-hmm. I'm guessing you like a lot of options in shoes.
Wait.
Is that chauvinistic? Was that?
No, not at all.
I mean,
True.
Yeah.
So do you.
Yeah, so do I. And so does my business partner, Francisco. He loves shoes. But options, right? Why do you have? Why do you need more than one or two pair of shoes?
Well, you want options.
You want options, right? What's your mood? Where are you going?
Right.
Are you going for look or are you going for comfort? Mm-hmm. Or are you got the really nice shoes that got the look and the comfort?
Right.
So, look, when we go into a home as a technician, now this can be technician, salesperson, whatever. You've got to give the customer options. And I will tell you, when you do not give options, when you withhold options, you're withholding information from the customer.
Right.
And they can't really make the right decision if they don't have all the options. Again, I love the medical analogies because I was in the medical field. And so I can relate to them really well. I think most people can, because regardless of what you do, we've all been to a doctor. Right. We've all either had some challenges or know someone who has, and we had to make decisions for our healthcare, right? And there's a big thing about getting options, having the doctor give you the right options. Well, there's surgery. Doc, is that my only option? No, you can lose 65 pounds and you could start exercising and we could send you to some rehab. And I believe if you do that with losing the weight, your knee should be fine. Your knee will recover. Oh, doc, so we should do that first. And then if that doesn't work, surgery? Yeah. Well, why did you tell me? Why did I have to ask for that other option? Because I'm a surgeon, right? Surgeons cut. But you get the point. So listen, when you go to a home, couple things with options, couple deadly sins that I see of presenting options. Number one, too many options, right?
Confusing.
Confusing.
Very confusing.
Options that are disconnected, right? They just they don't flow. And you're talking about all this different stuff. Now, there is a way to present that kind of disconnected option. And when done correctly, works. The other thing is options that don't address the problem. It might be wrapped into the option somewhere, but the homeowner or the business owner, whoever your customer is, doesn't really understand what you're presenting. And that's in itself a whole other issue, right? Is not understanding. And why does the customer not understand? Well, one is how you present, the language you use. Right.
Analogies, things like that.
Yeah.
So they can understand it.
Yeah. Like a doctor came to you and said, Tanya, I'm going to do an exam. I need you in the supine position. If you're not familiar with that word, you're going to be like, huh?
Right.
Squeeze me. Right. But if you are familiar with that word, you'd lay down on the exam table. Right.
Right.
But a doctor's going to come in and say, hey, listen, I need you to go ahead and lay back on this exam table, because everybody understands that. Mm-hmm. If he uses medical terminology, right, a little bit different. Yeah. Right. So if I said to you, I'm your doctor, right? And I said, so is the bruise that you're telling me about, was it more proximal or distal?
Yeah, I'd be like, excuse me.
Yeah.
What are you talking about? You lost it here.
Yeah. Or instead I'd say, the bruise you're talking about, was it closer to your knee or further away from your knee?
Right.
Right? So the terminology is really, really important, right? Impress your friends and other technicians and tradespeople with it, but don't explain to the homeowner, right? The other issue with presenting options that I see a lot is the options are, it's not properly communicated. Why is this a concern? And why does this have to be done? What is the impact of not doing it? Which goes to really the final thing I'll say on some of the issues with presenting options is when they're written up or put together, the technician does not walk through each option properly with the homeowner, taking the time to explain what the issue is and what the options are to solve the problem, and explaining the pros and cons of each. Because remember, previous episode, trusted advisor.
Right.
You need to be a trusted advisor. So if you're going to be a trusted advisor, if you're going to advise, when you get done explaining to the homeowner what their options are, they should be able to explain them back to you. They should be able to explain them to their significant other. Right?
Right.
Maybe not to the greatest detail that you did, but you basically explain it.
Well, I just had a question for you. So, like, how do you as a technician figure out if the client is understanding you? Like, what are some of the things that you kind of check in with them to say, well, is this making sense?
Yeah, well, that's a really good question. So you want them engaged, right? So one of the best ways to help do that is, I'm going to use the example of a water heater here. If you could take them to the water heater and show them, or if you can bring what you're talking about to them. So in this case, I would say a condenser fan motor, right? If you could bring a new condenser fan motor to them and say, hey, look at this, feel the shaft, see how there's no playing and things like that. So a show and tell, all right?
That's really neat.
But deeper to answer to your question is, you have to show and tell. You have to ask them questions. And are they asking you questions?
Right.
And the question you should be asking is, okay, that's the first option. Do you understand that? Oh, well, I think so. I mean, it basically, that makes the fan spin, and with that part's not working, and the fan won't spin without that part. I mean, that's the level of understanding. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's exactly correct. Do you have any questions about this option? No. What are the other? Okay, let's go, right? So
Right.
Just asking, do you have any questions?
Little check-ins.
Now, you have to also understand the person you're talking to, and this is where it really helps if you know profiles, right? Personality profiles. Because certain people will ask questions, certain people, I'm going to ask you questions. Mm-hmm. I might even offend you by the questions I ask, right? Other people are just going, okay. Mm-hmm. And then you're going to get the high C's. They're going to ask you questions that you better hope you know the answer
Right.
to, right?
Or you lost them.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you need to confirm understanding, right? And if you can get them hands-on in the sense of showing them pictures, maybe it's a situation that's you're on the roof and you're dealing with a flue pipe or a chimney or shingles, and you're not going to ask the homeowner to go on the roof, right? So now you bring them pictures and video. So that goes a long way towards that. So that was a really good question, because again, if you get the technician that does go through everything, and the homeowner ends up not doing anything and then calls in and says, yeah, I don't understand what my options are here. Now, I will tell you, in most cases, it's because they weren't explained.
Right.
Right.
To where they understood it.
Yeah. So, and there's certain questions for another episode that I always ask a homeowner when those type of phone calls come in, to get a better understanding of what really took place. And usually within one or two questions, I know exactly what the tech did or didn't do. Right. And it's not always the tech's fault, but presenting options is where we miss the boat. So when you present options, when you go out to a home, I'm going to do an example of repairing something. Or look, this could be something's broken, or it could be an inspection or maintenance. All right. You can use them all, but a lot of times you see a good, better, best option, and that's universally understood, that you can go to Best Buy and there's good, better, bests, right? And you can go a lot of places and they'll present things that way. You go to Amazon, stuff's presented that way. One of the things I do like is a must, should, could, where you must do this, right? You should do this. You could do this. But also, I don't like the must, should, could as much as I did at one time because I think it's too vague. And you know what I really preach is using the fix it now, fix now, right? Because the word fix, like, okay, this is what's going to fix my problem now. Yes, this is fix now. So because you don't have to do anything, right? So this will fix it now, improve now. So this will fix your problem and it will take care of some other concerns that I see, right? Does that make sense?
Yeah, that does.
The next option is upgrade now. Upgrade could be, get a better toilet, get a new air conditioning system, put a new roof on. It doesn't have to be replacing a system either. It could just be enhancing. Get better filtration, right? That type of thing. And then the other option, this is where I come up with the 4, right? The other option is plan ahead, right? I like to plan ahead because a lot of times you're going out to the home and there's you go out to a home and they're in a relatively new home and everything seems to be pretty good, The duct works as it should, which is rare. Systems newer. They got the water filtration. The roof obviously is new. Everything's as it should be. Okay, well, let's plan ahead. And you can still do the fix it now because fix does not mean something's broken. It means something can be improved. So let's say you go to that home and let's say you're going on a maintenance and you go to a home, and I'm going to use HVAC in this example. You go to the home and they bought the house. They've been there 6 months. All right. Well, look, you can't drive your air conditioning system to dinner and you can't show people and cook on it. Right. So everybody forgets about it. And the builders usually put the cheap builder grade stuff in. So what could you fix now? Your filtration. Well, is my filtration broken? Essentially, yes, you have a 1-inch pleated filter. Right. So actually your filtration is your lungs. That's to protect your system from rocks and small children. But it is not for cleaning the air.
Right.
So we could fix that now.
Right. So real quick, just as a comfort advisor going into a home, I'm replacing a system for a client. Yeah. I'm doing the best, good, better, best options. Okay. How do I tie that fix it, improve it, upgrade and future on that aspect?
If you're going in to give, let's in this example, to replace a system.
Yeah.
What you're saying is you focus a lot on what system? Single stage,
right. Variable speed.
Yeah. And so you're not really saying fix it now, improve.
Right.
Or must, should, could, right?
Yeah, whatever better, best, but there's got to be other ways to utilize what you're talking about.
Well, and there is, in the sense of, look, you're helping them pick the system that's best for them, right? So maybe it's a vacation rental, and they're not there a whole lot, and they're budget conscious, so they just need a basic system to take care of that place, right? All right, so now you've helped them decide on the system. But now what other things would be beneficial that might not come with that system, right?
Yep.
So the fix it now is look, you need a new system.
Right.
Now let's improve. So we're going to get your system. How do we improve the system you already have? Well, it's place. I read it. It's not really important to me. I just budget. Okay, great. Let me ask you something. Is being able to make sure your tenants or your renters, when they move out, have set back the air conditioner? Oh, yeah, that's really important. I mean, I get these electric bills. These bastards leave, and it's 68 degrees. They're hanging meat in there. Well, great. What if we upgrade you to this Wi-Fi thermostat? Right? Now, most thermostats, this day and age, are Wi-Fi.
Right.
But there's ones with greater levels of control. So what about, the filtration? This is a standard filtration. I don't care. I don't need that the tenants to have good air. The air is good enough. No, sir. Let's talk about upgrading the filtration to protect your investment in this new system, because you don't have control over what these people are going to be doing in your house. Right. Okay, who's coming in and what they're doing. And you say they're not supposed to smoke. Maybe they smoke. I don't know. But here's the thing. we can upgrade filtration. The better filtration is going to be a better protection to your system, to your home, right? It's going to help with maintenance and extending the life of your system. So you select the system that's right for them, but then, and for, in that case, almost the fix it now is the system.
Right.
But how do you improve now?
Right. If the ductwork doesn't look good, things like that. So you're saying like to do the improve is to protect their investment, right?
Well, in that case, that's why a lot of times people will, I don't want the indoor air quality. I don't want that. This is a rental. I'm budget conscious. I don't care. Okay. Well, if you're budget conscious, you really want to protect your system.
Right.
You want to keep your coil clean. So I would recommend you put a UV light in the coil to keep that coil clean, right? And I would recommend upgraded filtration to keep even more from getting past that filter. So now, see, and that's another thing in presenting options. What matters to the homeowner? In this example, we're talking replacement. We already know low cost matters to them.
Right.
So they don't want to spend a lot of money. They just want a system that their tenants can use and keep them happy. Okay, great. Now, a lot of people would say, oh, they don't want to spend a lot of money, so I just presented this option. And then I walked out, says, oh, the deal didn't blow up. It's like Grant Cardone says, if the deal blows up, you never had a deal.
Right.
Right? So they're budget conscious. They don't want to spend a lot of money. Then you need this filtration because it's better off investing this now, because now, there's a whole lot of tax advantages in doing this work to your rental property now versus paying us later because of issues that happen because the coil's dirty,
right,
and the efficiency's down and things like that. So see, a lot of times we hear what the homeowner's saying and we apply our belief system to it, and then we just go with it.
All the time.
And we don't realize that, this person's budget conscious. They don't want to spend a lot of money. Great, then they're going to need upgraded filtration because that's what's going to save them money and protect their investment in the long run. But a lot of times we just say, oh, okay, well then just don't talk about anything else because, just here, this system, and then you don't talk about any of that other stuff, right?
Right, so you got to change that in your minds.
Correct. And you didn't present them the options. You withheld options because of your belief system.
Right.
But back to presenting options. When you present options, when you create the options, again, the fix now, the must, whatever you want to call it, is from a technician perspective, it's either, it could be the system if you're a comfort advisor, but it could be it should be what you need to do to fix the system, to fix the home, whatever you're there for, or the business, right? So let's say in this example, I'm going to go back to the capacitor. Let's say the capacitor's out on the condenser, all right? And you know that you've tested it, the motor's still working, right? So the must or the fix now is replace the capacitor. That's the first option.
Okay.
Right? Now, you also know, though, that because that capacitor went out, even though the motor's working, it's going to have a negative impact on that motor because that motor was running with not enough of the capacitor, the microfarads and everything doing what it's supposed to do. And so that motor is probably running a little bit hotter than it should, so on and so forth. So it's worn on that motor. Plus, the motor is probably the same age as the capacitor. So the improve now, or the should, would be like, listen, we should go ahead and take care of this capacitor and the condenser fan motor. In fact, if we replace the condenser fan motor, even though we can get away with just replacing the capacitor, part of that in our pricing anyways comes with a capacitor. So now you've just upgraded the customer from just doing a capacitor to taking care of that, because now both items are fixed, repaired, and depending on your company's warranty, are protected, right? Now you could say, hey, in this case, we've got, you have no start assist on here. Here's what I recommend a start assist. So your must or your fix now is the capacitor, right? Now you could build out that your should, right? Or your improve now could be, let's do the condenser fan motor, the capacitor, and let's put on a start assist on this system, okay? Here's why. Here's why I recommend it, and here's what benefit you're going to get from it, right? The biggest benefit is they're going to get peace of mind right now, because here's how you get a callback. You don't talk about the condenser fan motor because it's just the capacitor. And guess what? A month later, you're back because the condenser fan motor went out.
Oh, that's right. An upset client.
Upset clients. Now they doubt that you had the issue the first time, right?
Right.
So now when you bring something to them, they're going to be like, well, wait a minute. You didn't tell me about this last time. You only told me this. And so now you could say the upgrade now could be, something totally different. Like, let's say it's a newer system. It's still under warranty, things like that. Your upgrade now is not going to be a new system, right? It's going to be, it could be filtration, right?
Right.
It could be any number of things, right? And I'm thinking outside trades. I'm trying to think other trades for examples, but I'm going to keep it to what I'm most familiar with. And now, if it is a system that's in the replacement age, it's out of warranty, is inefficient, things of that nature, and now it could be consider a new system. Is that something you'd be interested in learning more about? Listen, right here, this is magic. What I'm going to share is magic, because there's an option that I would tell every homeowner, and I tell our technicians too, that I do not write down, but I have a conversation with them. And I say, and this is how it go. Like, so if I come to you and I'll be like, Tanya, listen, I checked out your system. I found the issue, right? Now, I found a couple other areas that are a concern to me, and I'm going to go through each one of them with you, because your job is to tell me what you want to do. My job is to tell you what I found and my concerns and help you understand the pros and cons of each one. And your job is to tell me what you want to do that's best for Tanya and her family. Does that sound fair? Okay. Now, here's what I want to tell you, though. The first option, I had not written it down here because I don't think it's a smart option. But I want you to know this is an option. So your very first option is to do nothing. Tell me no. All right? Now, I don't write it down because your system's not cooling.
Right.
Or your system's 15 years old, whatever it is. So I want you to know that it's okay. No is a perfectly fine answer, and do nothing is one of your options, all right? But I just want to talk about the options so they're actually going to get you out of the situation you're in today. Does that sound fair?
Yes.
So what you've just done there is, one, you've explained to the homeowner that you found out what the issue is and there's some other concerns. You're going to share with the customer what they are. You're going to help them understand what they are. You've assured them that they are in charge. And then you went and you said, look, and also I want you to know that the one option you have is to do nothing. And why you're not writing it down and it's not smart. Because what you've just done now is look, when you put somebody's back against the wall, they get in a very defensive, protective mode, all right? And they shut down. You've just given them a door. You've just told them it's okay to leave.
And now they're in control.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. And so does a customer say no? Sure they say no. Now, a lot of times, especially if they have an issue, the reason they're going to say no, it comes down to like and trust. They don't like and trust you. That's a hard reality, but that's the truth, right?
Right.
So you've got to get the customer. That's why the rapport building, right? And establishing yourself as a trusted advisor is so important. Because by the time you get to presenting options, they need to know that you're there for their best interest.
Right.
And guess what? Yes, you're going to get some do nothing. And sometimes it's just going to be like, no. Because now they know Bob, who has a friend that lives in Antarctica.
Right.
That used to work in air conditioning, and they're going to have him do it, right? So, and that's fine. But the thing is, you're going to get more yeses. You're going to get higher tickets. And this is the great thing. Everybody that's listening, there's a group of people in the trades that are like, they think sales is a bad word. No, because guess what? When you do it correctly and you do it ethically and you show up to serve,
yes,
you get higher satisfaction.
That's right.
Right? If you do it correctly and you solve problems, people are grateful.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure you can share countless experiences where you've spent money and maybe you weren't planning to, but you feel so grateful because you were taken care of.
Right.
You were heard, and problems were solved.
Right.
Right. You may not be at that place at the moment, but as the experience with an individual gets you there. Right. So presenting those options in that manner is so critical. All right. Now, once you present options, one of the options that I mentioned in this example was replacement. Now, there is a way to present that will up your chances of a homeowner or business owner wanting to move forward with that. Mm-hmm. And that is, listen, if you're a technician and you're doing what they call a turnover, right? And that's one of the options, fantastic. Present it right, you increase the success and the customer satisfaction. Now, the homeowner says, no, that's not something I want to consider at all. You're crazy. Just fix it. Fix now. Okay, great. I'll get that taken care of for you. Right? Fine. Fantastic. But if you explain to a homeowner why they should consider a replacement and they understand that they're just considering it, then they have an option and you're still there.
Right.
Right. And that's a part of it. I'm going to go into the next episode into great detail on this. But when you can present an option and they know that, listen, this is your option, but these other options don't go away. They are all still alive, including do nothing.
Right.
But why not get the information to make the right decision? And if you want to know the right way to set that up with a homeowner and turn over to increase your chances of getting a new system installed, increasing customer satisfaction, increasing your earning, you're going to have to tune into the next episode because I ain't covering it here. Those that have stuck around with us, thank you very much for listening. Thank you for supporting the show. Really appreciate likes, listens, shares, and you can find us. Make sure you tell all your friends and family. You can find us anywhere podcasts are found streaming. We're also on YouTube, so if you want to see if I look as good as I sound, just check out the channel, man. It's there, and Tanya, you'll know what color her hair is now because it's got a bright light shining on it. So thanks again for tuning in. Next episode, we are going to show you how to have success regardless of what trade you're in when it comes to replacement options.